Hey, I'm Miles. Whew. That last wave put me under. I went in thinking I was in complete control, but at the last moment, the board went one way and I wiped out into the water. It could be a little scary when you're not in control. Whether you're on a surfboard or going through life, there will be times when things are just out of your control. That's why it's important to remember who is always in control. God. And God designed you for an amazing purpose. Here, come with me. I want to show you something. This is the Bible, and God's true message to us about himself. The Bible is filled with all kinds of true stories and messages about God. Here, we can read about a guy named Joseph. Now, his story is wild. God had promised Joseph's grandfather, Abraham, that his family would become a large nation. So much in his life went so wrong. But Joseph trusted God even when everything felt out of control. Let's check it out.
Joseph sent to Egypt. Jacob, the grandson of a man named Abraham, had 12 sons. One of these sons was named Joseph. Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. Jacob made a special long-sleeve robe for Joseph. When Joseph's brothers saw that Jacob loved Joseph more than them, they hated Joseph and would not bring themselves to speak kindly to him. Then Joseph had a dream. He told the dream to his brothers, saying, "There we were, tying up bundles of grain in the field. Suddenly, my bundle stood up, and your bundles gathered around it and bowed down to mine." When Joseph's brothers heard this, they hated him even more. They asked, "Are you really going to rule over us?" Joseph had another dream and told it to his brothers and father. In this dream, the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me. His father challenged him, saying, "What kind of dream was that? Am I and your mother and your brothers really going to come and bow down before you?" Joseph's brothers grew even more jealous of him, but Jacob kept the dreams in mind.
I don't think Joseph's brothers liked hearing that Joseph was having dreams where they would bow to him. He was their little brother, and it didn't help that they knew Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. Joseph even had a fancy robe to prove it. The cool thing is that God gave Joseph those dreams to prepare him for his true purpose. Let's see how life started to feel a little out of control for Joseph.
Jacob sent Joseph to see how his brothers were doing as they watched over their flocks of sheep. When Joseph's brothers saw him coming, they came up with a plan to kill him. They said to each other, "Oh, look, here comes that dream expert. So now, come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of the pits. We can say that a wild animal attacked him. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." But Reuben, the oldest of the brothers, tried to save Joseph. He said, "Throw Joseph into the pit, but let's not kill him." Reuben planned on rescuing Joseph later. When Joseph finally reached his brothers, they stripped off his special robe and threw him into the pit. While he was in the pit, his brothers saw a group of people traveling their way. Judah, one of his brothers, said, "What good will it do if we kill Joseph? Let's sell him to these travelers instead." So when the travelers passed by, Joseph's brothers pulled him from the pit and sold him for 20 pieces of silver. The travelers took Joseph to Egypt and sold him as a slave to a man named Potiphar, who was captain of the guards.
Whoa! Joseph probably felt like his life was out of control, but God had a plan. Part of that plan included some pretty hard stuff, like being sent to Egypt, but Egypt was exactly where God wanted Joseph to be because many years later, God worked through Joseph to save all of Egypt from a bad famine. And not only did Joseph help save the people in Egypt, but he also saved his entire family. God designed Joseph for a special purpose, and he was with Joseph every step of the way. There might be times in your life when you feel like things are out of your control. You might not know why something is happening, but you can trust that through everything, God is in control and has designed you for a purpose. And when things feel out of control, the most important thing to keep in mind is that God is always with you. Sometimes we may not see what God is doing right away. The good news is that we can trust in God and follow him. You know, God's ultimate plan is for us to have a relationship with him. But because of sin, that relationship is broken. You see, sin is when we choose to do what we think is best instead of following what God says is best. And we all sin. So God sent his son, Jesus, to rescue us from our sin and fix our relationship with God. When we ask God to forgive us of our sin and follow Jesus, we can look around and know, no matter what's happening, God's got this. He has a purpose for us. Oh, I better go. I told my friends I would meet them for some beach volleyball. I'll see you later.